The latest and the greatest.
Yeah.
That's new. What's the new buzzword?
So let me pull you back together. First of all, really good questions. So one of the questions asked was, Mark, are there other videos? Yes, there are. And we have the bit.ly, which again, here's the bit.ly. But here are the additional resources. There's whole video albums at Vimeo, which is, if you don't know Vimeo, it's like another variation of YouTube. So they house, the Teachers College chose to house them on their own channel in Vimeo. So you can get there via this link. So it's the Teacher College, and so here's, and there she is probably. Yep, that's our video right there. The other thing, I did send you off with your own questions, but Nellie so greatly actually had a question for you to consider. But anyway, just as a reference. So there were questions, even though you guys had great dialogue, so you didn't need the prompts. But anyway, I wanted to point that out. Okay, so our last little bit we're going to do, we're not going to necessarily be able to connect it back to those Mesa reading units per se. We're not going to get there. But let's go ahead and dive into this. So I gave you this handout. This is a document released by actually the Stanford group, focusing around the ELL component, but also, obviously, as you see, the NGSS down there in the corner, right? So the Stanford group did this research, got connected with the next generation of science standards, and put this out there. So what you're looking at here is you are looking at the mathematical practices from Common Core. That's the math Venn diagram, defined as all of the M's. Then you're looking at the science, I think it's science and engineering practices. And those are numbered S whatever. And then with ELA, this is the tricky one, they decided to go with the key considerations for college and career-ready students. That was a new one for me. And being the ELA guy, I kind of fought Jen on that one a little bit. And by Jen, I mean Jen Arnswald, our science consultant, not Next Jen of Next Generation Science. Anyways, I tease her about that. Because I wanted anchor standards here. I wanted content. But obviously I'm putting the document in front of you now, so I've lessened myself to that. In that I better see how this gives us more of that process, more of that change in how. Instead of focusing on that content, how is it we're supposed to be interacting with students? And those key design and considerations, which are page 6 of the standard document itself. So if you wanted that as a reference point, you can go and see it there. But these are really what college and career-ready students are supposed to do. And what they did here was a nice Venn diagram. If you flip it from the pretty picture, and if I brought it up, which by the way, this is also on the website, and when I bring it up on the website, it's all pretty colors. If you wanted to see them fleshed out and not jumbled, they sorted them out for you on the back. So there's a nice grid on the back. What I'd like you to do is just go ahead and talk about what's jumping off the page at you here about how the mathematical practice, the science and engineering practices, and the college and career-ready designs from the ELA component of Common Core. What are you noticing on this document? Go ahead from your table even, and I'll just have each table share one thing out, and I'll give you about 5 minutes for that. All right?
Is yours different?
M3, E4, E5, S7.
E2, E5.
Oh, then Nellie might have got the wrong graphic.
Okay.
So go with what's in front of you. That one's official.